Hi guys, this is IGCSE O-Level Chemistry, paper 22, March 2017, question 11. Four solutions are separately electrolyzed. In which two experiments is a colorless gas evolved at the anode? So when electrolysis takes place, we will find out what is present at the anode as well as the cathode, and it should be a colorless gas at the anode. So in experiment 1, we've got dilute aqueous sodium chloride and carbon electrode. So anode would have liberation of oxygen gas and cathode would have liberation of hydrogen gas. So this is correct because anode has oxygen gas being liberated, which is a colorless gas. In 2, we've got copper electrodes and aqueous copper 2 sulfate. So at the anode, we would have production of Cu2 positive ions, and at the cathode, we would have deposition of copper metal. So this is not it. Next, we have concentrated hydrochloric acid. So at the anode, we have production of chlorine gas, which is green in color, and at the cathode, we have production of hydrogen gas. So since a green colored gas is produced at the anode, this is not it either. And 4, dilute sulfuric acid with carbon electrode. So we have oxygen being produced at the anode and hydrogen being produced at the cathode, which makes this experiment correct as it is producing a colorless gas at the anode. So since experiments 1 and 4 are correct, option B is the correct option for this question. Question 12. Ammonia is made by reacting nitrogen with hydrogen in the presence of an iron catalyst. The reaction is exothermic. The equation for the reaction is shown. The bond energies are shown in the table. What is the energy given out during this reaction? So the bonds that are broken are nitrogen-nitrogen triple bond and 3 hydrogen-hydrogen single bonds. And the bonds that are formed are 6 nitrogen-hydrogen single bonds. So bond breaking requires energy. So this would be positive. So the values would be, we have 945 plus we would have 3 into 436. So this would be the energy required to break the bonds. And we subtract from this the energy given off when bonds are formed. So that would be 6 into 390. So when we perform this calculation, we obtain a final value of minus 87 kilojoules per mole, which makes option D the correct option for this question. Question 13. The energy level diagram for the reaction between P and Q to form R and S is shown. So since the products are at a lower energy state than the reactants, this is an exothermic reaction. Which row describes the energy changes involved in the type of reaction? So since this is an exothermic reaction, options A and D have been eliminated and we are left with options B and C. So in B, it states more energy is given out when the bond in the products are formed than the energy needed to break the bonds in the reactants, which would make the enthalpy change exothermic. So this is correct. Okay, so option C says endothermic. This is incorrect. We'll have to look at option D for its explanation. So option D says more energy is needed. So if more energy is needed, it means the reaction has to be endothermic. To break the bonds in the reactants, then is given out when the bond in the prototype forms. So the sum of this energy change would be positive, which would make it endothermic, not exothermic. And our reaction is exothermic as stated in the question itself by looking at the diagram, because the level of the products, the energy level is lesser than the energy level of the reactant. So the explanation for this reaction being exothermic is incorrect in option D, which makes option B the correct option for this question. Question 14. Copper to carbonate reacts with dilute sulfuric acid. The rate of reaction can be changed by varying the conditions. Which changes always increase the rate of the chemical reaction? So increasing the concentration of sulfuric acid would increase the rate of reaction as the number of moles of reactants would be more. So number of collisions that would result in product formation would also be more, and the rate of reaction would be higher. So this is correct. Increasing the size of the pieces of copper to carbonate would decrease the rate of reaction because this would decrease the exposed surface area. Increasing the temperature always increases the rate of reaction because all the particles present gain kinetic energy and collide more frequently with the other reactant particles, resulting in the product forming more quickly. So this is correct. And increasing the volume of sulfuric acid. By increasing the volume of sulfuric acid, we are just increasing the volume. So we are decreasing the concentration. So a lower concentration would mean a lesser rate of reaction. So this is incorrect. Since statements 1 and 3 are correct, option B is the correct option for this question. Question 15. Which reaction is not affected by the presence of light? A candle burning. A candle burning is combustion. Combustion has nothing to do with light. Methane reacting with chlorine. Alkanes are substituted with chlorine in the presence of light. So this is affected. Photosynthesis, the name itself says photo, which means it is a light dependent reaction. Silver bromide decomposing to form silver requires light. So the only reaction that does not require light or is not affected by the presence of light is a candle burning, making option A the correct option for this question. Question 16. The equation for the reversible reaction between hydrogen and iodine to form hydrogen iodide is shown. The colors of the reactants and products are shown. So the colorless reactant and a purple colored reactant react to produce a colorless product. The forward reaction is exothermic. Which statement is correct? An increase in pressure has no effect on the equilibrium position. So since there are 2 moles of reactants and 2 moles of products, the number of moles are equal. So an increase or a decrease in pressure will have no effect on the position of the equilibrium. So this statement is correct. The purple color fades when the reaction mixture is heated. It is an exothermic reaction. So an increase in temperature will favor the backward reaction. So the purple color will not fade. The purple color will increase in its concentration. So this is incorrect. When equilibrium is reached, both forward and reverse reactions stop. No, it is a dynamic equilibrium. When equilibrium is reached, both the rate of forward reaction and the rate of backward reaction becomes equal. That is why no change in the quantity of reactants or products is visible. So this statement is incorrect as well. So when more hydrogen gas is added, the purple color increases. No, when more hydrogen gas is added, the forward reaction will be favored and the purple color would decrease. So since option A is the only correct statement, A is the correct option for this question. Question 17. Chlorine displaces bromine from a solution of potassium bromide. What is the oxidizing agent in this reaction? Since chlorine is converted into chloride, it undergoes reduction. So it is the oxidizing agent. So the oxidizing agent here would be chlorine. So that makes option D the correct option for this question. Question 18. Beryllium oxide reacts with both sulfuric acid and aqueous sodium hydroxide. Which type of oxide is beryllium oxide? So, since it is reacting with an acid, it is a basic oxide. And since it is reacting with a base, it is an acidic oxide. So, since it is reacting with both acids and bases, it is an amphoteric oxide. Therefore, option B is the correct option for this question. Question 19. A student investigates two acids W and X. The same volume of W and X are reacted separately with excess magnesium. The student makes the following observation. Hydrogen gas is produced at a faster rate with W than with X. So W is a stronger acid than X. This is proven by the first observation. And the total volume of hydrogen gas produced is the same for both acids. So concentration of W is the same as concentration of X. So they both have the same concentration, but W is a stronger acid than X. Which statement explains this observation? The pH of W is higher than the pH of X, not higher, it should be lower because it is more acidic. W is an organic acid. This cannot be proven by this statement at all, by the observations. W is a stronger acid than X. Yes, this was proven by the observation in 1. And W is more concentrated than X. No, both are of equal concentration as proven by observation 2. Therefore, the correct option for this question is option C. Question 20. A student is given an unknown solution. Which two tests provide evidence that the solution is copper 2 sulfate? Adding dilute hydrochloric acid. So, adding dilute hydrochloric acid would form a yellow green solution, because when copper 2 sulfate reacts with HCl, a yellow green solution is obtained. Okay, next, adding aqueous sodium hydroxide. Adding aqueous sodium hydroxide would produce a pale blue precipitate. So this is evident of presence of copper ions. So this is correct. So in the case of the first test, adding dilute hydrochloric acid, the appearance of a yellow solution is something that is relatively unknown to most students. So this cannot be used as a test for the presence of either copper or sulfate. In fact, this could be a test for copper, but an unknown test at this stage. So 2 is correct. 3, adding dilute nitric acid, then silver nitrate solution. This will have no effect because there are no halide ions present in the solution. So this will prove nothing, except that halides are absent. Adding dilute nitric acid and barium nitrate solution, this will result in the formation of a white precipitate of barium sulfate, which will confirm the presence of sulfate. So test 2 presents the uh, confirms the presence of Cu2 positive ions, and test 4 confirms the presence of SO4 2 negative ions. So together they confirm the presence of copper 2 sulfate, making option D the correct option for this question.